to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. And I want to welcome each and every one of you to the show today. Incredibly awesome show. And we've got lots to talk about. We've got a lot of things that we want to connect you with, and I have a very, very special guest today. But before we do, Benny, I want to congratulate someone. Do you know who that is?
Well, it's not me. I don't have any new news, except for I got back from L.A., and you're in New York, so, you know, we're jet setting this weekend.
Well, I mean, is there anything that we could absolutely say in the spirit of the Dalai Lama talking about women in leadership roles? I want to take a moment to congratulate the first female Indy winner.
Oh, yes, Danica Patrick. How can I forget that? All right, round of applause for her. All right. She was hot looking, she was good looking doing it too, you know. So anyway.
Well, you know, part of this is, you know, really looking at, you know, what we're doing in our lives, whether or not we're up to the challenge. You know, what are we doing? How can we get ourselves prepared for the incredibly awesome, amazing life that we desire? I am so thrilled to have my very special guest joining us here today. And, you know, someone that I've had on the show before, actually met her a number of years ago. Her healing work goes beyond anything that you can even imagine. Studied with a very dear friend of mine, Eric Pearl. And she's joining us here today because we're talking about healing and wellness, talking about it in a way that connects us, reconnects us with the incredible power we have within. Christine Upchurch is my guest today, a healer in Seattle that is reaching far beyond those boundaries, someone who many years ago experienced her healing initiation. And she'll talk about that today as we look at tackling the conversation about health, well-being, and look at how we understand what it means to be in the world of reconnective healing. Christine, welcome to the Dr. Pat Show.
Thank you so much, Pat.
So what do you think about the female race driver?
I think it's great. I think we need to feminize this world in so many ways.
And, you know, let's talk about you and your work for a minute. And I wanted to give folks some background. I don't know that I've ever shared this, but I happened to see Eric down at the Conscious Life Expo down in L.A. Several months ago, and it was great to kind of, you know, see him there and really connect with him again. And he is quite a spokesperson. I mean, you know, he doesn't beat around the bush when it comes to healing and well-being.
No, he speaks the truth as he knows it, and he doesn't worry about what toes he steps on doing so.
And don't you think that's a place that each of us can really kind of look at in our lives and step out and be that? So I wanted to ask you, from your perspective in your life, what is it that you can look back on right now and say, this is the decision that I made in my life. This is the point in my life where I decided to take a stand for who I am?
Well, it's funny because it started with missteps, which got me there. And the missteps had to do with following a career that was disconnected from my heart and eventually developing cancer. And so I had chosen a path that I was disconnected from and found myself in crisis. And I was in a situation where the doctor said, you know, early treatment for this kind of cancer isn't particularly helpful. So we're going to wait until it gets bad enough, and then eventually we'll start you on chemo, and you'll probably be on chemo of one sort or another for the rest of your life, which, of course, threw me into the abyss. And I found my way out by researching healing. What is healing? And what needed to be healed in my own life? So eventually, I healed myself of cancer without any medical treatment and found my way back to my heart. Found that I got very interested in energy healing. So I started exploring that over the years, and eventually, I found Eric's book, which is called The Reconnection, Heal Others, Heal Yourself. And when I read the book, I was fascinated by his story. It's an amazing story. And then when he spoke about healing, he was speaking my truth, and I knew I had to go see this man. So I went to one of his seminars in Seattle about 5 years ago. And when I started to do the work, it was like coming home. So I think it was at that moment when I recognized what home in this life really is for me that I connected to my purpose. I knew that I needed to do this work to facilitate healings. And eventually I became inspired to empower others to do the work as well by, working as a teaching assistant and now as an associate instructor.
So, when we're looking at your life and we're looking at the challenges, what's really interesting, I'm on the East Coast now, and, I'm doing the Go Green Expo. So what happens is, because there's this 3-hour time difference, right?
Right.
So I get up in the morning and, you all are not up yet. And so what's really cool is I get up in the morning and all of a sudden I'm noticing there's Good Morning America on, and there are different things going on like that. But the thing that I was most struck by this morning was, on Good Morning America, one of the women on there, of course, has been sharing with the public her own cancer survival and what it means to be standing in empowerment, what it means. And, today was really cool because what she revealed was she was wigless, so to speak. She ripped off her wig, and there she was with this beautiful, some of her hair had grown, and she looked really great. But all of this is about standing in the power. And for you, if you go from someone who was in need of healing to now be the healer,
yes,
what is the power of that journey?
It's extremely powerful because it really means reconnecting with my higher purpose. And in fact, Reconnective Healing and the Reconnection are really about that. It's not just about healing. It's about reconnecting to the more evolved version of ourself, reconnecting to our wholeness. And it's very joyful to be in this place where, once upon a time when I worried about dying from cancer or whatever else, I thought, one of my greatest fears is to have lived my life and not have fulfilled my purpose. Now, when I am connected to purpose and I am on my path, I feel totally empowered. And it's not like, power that I try to struggle to create. It's just like natural power that flows through me. And, I've got great support. And I can't tell you exactly where all the support comes from, but I'm very supported on my journey. And it's thrilling. And it's... I don't know. It's just wonderful to be connected to my heart in this process.
Well, and this is, I've been so looking forward to having this conversation with you. I know you've been quite busy. What have you experienced in these past several months with your own work, with your own practice? Because I've seen you at different expos. I've seen you out with Eric. I mean, I've seen you in many different venues. And it seems like the world that you live in is exploding in a sense.
It is. We have taught over, I think it's 37,000 people worldwide to do this work. And gosh, the last few months I've been to Los Angeles, Chicago, Amsterdam, Scottsdale, and I'm headed to Santa Fe next week. It's clear that there is demand for this worldwide. Why? First of all, it's new and different, and it's very powerful. And secondly, at this stage in our life on Earth, I think we all are craving something more, being more of who we can be.
Well, I have to tell you, what you're talking about is so clear, and it hits me in so many different ways. Part of being here and being invited to the Green Expo in New York City is, I think, another demonstration of all the years that many people that work with the show have put in so that we can reach more and more people. For you, and I want to ask you this question before we go to break. For you, when you look at the work you're doing, the reconnective healing work, and sort of the press energy work is getting these days, good press, what is your greatest desire? What is your greatest wish for all those out there right now that have really gone up one avenue and not been successful and are just out there thinking, I need to get relief. Let's hold that question. We're going to take a short break on the Dr. Pat Show. You're listening to the Dr. Pat Show. I'm really thrilled to have Christine Upchurch joining us here today. Her website is cuhealing.com. We'll talk more about that. We've got lots to talk about. And I want to make sure that if you do have questions, healing questions, if you want to bring those questions to the table and have Christine address them, we'll give out that toll-free number. And you please feel free to call it throughout the show. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. We'll be right back.
The search is over. The Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by, is your connection to tens of thousands of people waiting to hear your empowering message, waiting to choose your product or service. Dr. Pat's goal is to connect you with the people that want high-quality products and services created with love for humanity and the earth. Products and services like yours. Be the business that joins the buzz. The Dr. Pat Show buzz. The buzz of talk radio to thrive by. Connect with people that value conscious living and mindful thinking. Living life full out. Have your business be identified with this powerful and inspiring show. Join the buzz. Be the buzz. Let the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. Be the conduit to those who would benefit most from your services. To sponsor the Dr. Pat Show, call Dr. Pat at 206-523-5522. That's 206-523-5522. Let our success be your success.
Are you one of the millions of frustrated people who can't take off weight or keep it off on a low-fat or low-calorie diet? It's hard, isn't it? Well, don't despair another day. The Sugar-Free Miracle Diet is the answer to your prayers. I'm Karen Bentley, and I lost 130 pounds on this program. I'm also the founder and CEO of the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Company. Go to sugarfreemiracle.com, that's sugarfreemiracle.com, and get started today.
Why do people travel across the globe to see Dr. Nusheen Darvish at the Holistic Medical Center in Bellevue? Is it her specialization in women's health, allergies, and chronic illness? Is it because she founded a uniquely comprehensive, integrative clinic for cutting-edge, non-invasive, and FDA-approved therapies that improve the health of all patients? Yes, it is. Find out for yourself. 425-451-0404. That's 425-451-0404.
For years, I was searching for a church that spoke about God in ways that made sense to me, in ways that recognized my struggles in life and then helped me find solutions. I found that church. It's the Center for Spiritual Living, a wonderful community that is helping me build a better life and a better world. Each Sunday, Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis inspires me to create a world that works not only for me, but for everyone.
Honoring all paths to God, the Center for Spiritual Living is located just east of University Village on Sandpoint Way with 3 Sunday services. Visit online at spiritualliving.org.
Revitalize your soul with Wayne Dyer, Robert Holden, Doreen Virtue, Marianne Williamson, Greg Braden, and your other favorite Hay House authors on a day or weekend retreat in Las Vegas. It's the annual I Can Do It conference on June 26th through 29th at the Sands Expo, and it's packed with inspiring keynote lectures, interactive workshops, autograph sessions, exhibitors, and more than 35 best-selling authors. Tickets start at only $75. Call 800-654-5126 or visit icandoit.net.
Good news, Belgium. We're streamed worldwide at 1150kknw.com. Alternative Talk, 1150 AM.
I love that song. As a matter of fact, Benny, it's funny you're playing that song because I actually heard it this morning when I was driving around, and I thought, wow, we haven't played that in a really long time. I wonder if Benny's going to play that, and here you are.
Well, you know, great minds think alike.
I know it. That was Christina Aguilera, and that's a classic. That song you can listen to anytime, any day. year, because it has a very, very powerful message in it. And that's what we're talking about today with my very special guest, Christine Upchurch, who's joining us here on the Dr. Pat Show. As I mentioned, Christine has her own healing story. We'll talk about that. But beyond that, she has seen numerous healings, both physical, emotion, mental, and spiritual. And her clients are reporting amazing experiences. And one of you out there today is going to have an opportunity to work with her directly. And what do I mean by that? That means we're going to be giving away a session to work one-on-one with Christine Upchurch and experience the power of healing in a whole new way. We're thrilled she's joining us here today. She has the honor of being one of only approximately a dozen worldwide associate instructors for the Reconnection, the work of Eric Pearl. She's also the recipient of the Reconnection's Co-Sponsor of the Year Award for bringing this work to the Seattle area. She's joining us here today because healing is at the very core of so many issues right now. And whether it is a physical healing, there is an emotional component. Christine, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pat. And I have to mention that when I was driving in here this morning, the song that I heard was Say What You Need to Say. And I laughed. It's like, okay, yep, that makes sense.
Well, let's say what you need to say. I mean, because I mentioned that, we're looking at healing energy, and it's on TV now. Mm-hmm. There are infomercials on it, and you can go a couple of years back, and it was like energy healing. What is that, like some religion?
Right, exactly.
So what kind of shifts have you noticed, and what do we say to the many people out there that are listening to the show that have pretty much been up against the wall, not getting any relief at all?
Right. Well, first of all, I want to say that healing is more than eliminating physical symptoms. Yes, the physical symptoms can get in the way of us enjoying our life, but it means so much more than eliminating physical symptoms. It can also mean coming back into emotional balance. It can mean connecting with the spiritual part of ourselves and the divine. It can mean becoming who we're supposed to become. And I really think that is the crux of this work, is helping us to evolve. Now, in terms of eliminating physical symptoms, yes, I've seen many physical healings. I've seen emotional healings. I've seen people suddenly change their lives and become much happier. And I never know who's going to get what healing. The universe comes through and decides. That's one of the wonderful things about reconnective healing. I mean, first of all, the frequencies are new and different. They have shown that in laboratory settings. They've shown that in the seminar settings. We've had some of the top researchers in the world doing research with us to evaluate this because it is so different. But there is a philosophy attached to this, that it really is the philosophy of reconnective healing, and that is get out of the way. As a practitioner, allow the wisdom of the universe to come through and do its thing. Who am I to say, if I'm working on a woman who's got, say, migraine headaches, that I need to just get rid of her migraine headaches? Let's say that her migraine headaches are connected to her unresolved anger with her father. Well, if I am able to just get rid of her headaches because I think that's what's best, then let's say she doesn't deal with her unresolved anger and then it comes out later as cancer. When you allow the wisdom of the universe to decide what's appropriate, the healing that she could get would be releasing that anger. And then the physical symptoms, could eventually dissolve and she could come back into physical balance. So that's basically reconnective healing in a nutshell. It's new frequencies, and it's a different philosophy than other types of energy healing.
Well, and let's talk about this because I've talked with Eric. I've worked with him. Mm-hmm. He's worked on my some of my issues, and this is part of we use the term holistic, Christine. Mm-hmm. I mean, but yet, when we look at traditional, conventional approaches to medicine and disease and wellness, they're not holistic.
Right.
They're very segmented. And, what have you discovered in personally your own learning journey on how to work with this and in what people think about and how receptive they are when they come to see you?
Well, some people are far more receptive than others, obviously. I've had people dragged in, by their spouses. who've been in terrible physical crisis. And it's interesting because, I came from a place where I healed myself of cancer using conscious intent and emotional clearing. And I thought, intention is where it's at. Now, it is very, very powerful. I use conscious intent to manifest a lot in my life. But that is not what Reconnective Healing is about. So, for instance, this man was dragged in by his wife, and he had an amazing physical healing. And I'm thinking to myself, this man didn't seem to be, all together in terms of dealing with his emotional issues and, seeing healing as a holistic kind of thing, and yet he had this amazing instantaneous healing. So what this has taught me is there's this dichotomy. There's this aspect where we actually have a lot of power to create our lives, including our wellness. But there are also amazing gifts from the universe, and we need to do a combination of allowing the gifts to come through, opening our arms to them, but also to consciously work to manifest and create in our lives what it is we truly desire.
So today, one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving one of our listeners a free session with you. And I want to talk about that. I've read the testimonials. There are people that have worked with you that have said, thank you for giving me back my life.
Yes.
The changes in my health have been profound. My gratitude for this experience overwhelming. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Let's open up the phone lines, 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. And we'd love to give our first caller, one of you that has a question, we'd love to give you a session, special gift from Christine. You don't have to come on air with your question, but what we'd love for you to do is give that question to Benny. And let's tell our listeners about the session right now, Christine. What can they expect?
Well, first of all, let me say, I don't know. I will tell you.
Eric said the same thing to me.
Oh, my gosh. I tried to put this in a box for a long, long time as a practitioner, and strange things kept happening, and I realized that it is not for me to determine what might happen. But in terms of the session itself, a person comes in, fills out some paperwork, I answer any questions they might have. They lie down on the table, close their eyes, and relax without any particular intention. Just open their minds to observing. And then I work around them with my hands anywhere from a few inches to several feet away for about 30 minutes. And then I go through and I debrief a client, ask them about what their experience was. Because even though some people don't experience too much while on the table, sometimes people experience things that are truly profound. And I want to help them remember what that experience was because the universe chose it for them. And then they go about their lives, and the healing frequencies continue to work on them even after they've left my office.
So, this is what I want to talk about. Let's talk about that last part. Well, Benny obviously, as you noticed, is jumping up and has gone, to answer the phones. Apparently, when you see those flashing lights, those are the phones just ringing, ringing, ringing. We have great listeners, by the way. They keep me doing what I'm doing. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is about the energy and the healing process that keeps going. Mm-hmm. And the reason I want to bring that up is because I think for a lot of folks, there is this difference between conventional healing and medicine, yes, where pill, potion, lotion, you take it, you get a quick fix, but then you're back there the next day. Let's talk about reconnective healing and how it is seriously different.
Yes, it's not about treatment. First of all, it's not symptom-oriented. It's about allowing these frequencies to come through and do whatever's appropriate for the person. We typically recommend between 1 to 3 sessions when a person's dealing with a particular problem, and then let it be and see what unfolds. Now, healings can happen in an instant, and sometimes they happen on my table. I remember once working on a woman, and she had what she called a trick knee, and I noticed her one foot was turned out way to the side when she was lying on her back, and the other was more or less upright. At the end of the session, she said, during the session, my knee popped. And then we looked at her feet, and they were both upright, and her trick knee had been healed. So healings can happen in an instant. Also, they can sometimes happen after a person has left. For instance, I was working on a personal trainer who loved to jog. Now, this woman had torn her hamstring muscles and had to have surgery to repair it. And the surgery had never healed completely because she was still in pain. And she could not jog. And this woman loved to jog. I don't get that, mind you, but, she loved to jog. And yet she couldn't. So she came in to see me, and, she had her one session, and then she left. And about 1 a.m, she found her leg that was injured began to shake. And it shook for about 30 minutes. And the next morning she got up and she went jogging. So you never know exactly when the healing will occur, but this does work outside of the space-time dimensions. So healings can occur in an instant.
So, let's talk for a minute about, Benny is very, very busy. Let's talk about this idea that there are some things that you cannot heal.
Oh, that's absurd. That's
right.
Like saying the universe, can only do so much. God, love, whatever you want to call it, universal intelligence knows better than that. And we need to learn to open our minds to that and to get over our worthiness issues, I think that so many of us think that, we're human, we're sinners, whatever, that somehow we are not worthy of either receiving healings or being able to facilitate healings. And I tell you, working with Reconnective healing frequencies kind of hits me over the head repeatedly that that's just not the case.
Well, we're going to talk about this. I know Benny is very, very busy answering these phones. I think he has just done a great job because this is an important topic. I want to make sure that folks know you can ask as many questions as you want. Christine Upchurch, my very special guest today. And if you want to find out more about her, we're going to give out the website, which is www.cuhealing.com. And we'll give out a phone number when we come back. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Can you live longer with Reconnective healing? We'll be right back to answer that question.
Does how you think about money affect how much you have? In HUNA, when you change your current way of thinking, the universe will always provide you with what you need and want. Money represents energy and the exchange or constant flow in and out. HUNA is ancient wisdom, taught by the kahunas in Hawaii. Ancient wisdom, modern application. HUNA is about empowerment, about increasing your spirituality and energy. What if you could bring into your life whatever you desire and learn to recognize your own limits and beliefs that create scarcity consciousness? Join the Empowerment Partnership May 3rd through the 4th in Newport Beach at their seminar called Creating Prosperity and Wealth, where you'll find the secrets you've been looking for. Call 800-800-MIND or visit HUNA.com. Mention the Dr. Pat Show to receive a $95 spring special. That's HUNA.com, the Empowerment Partnership. Whatever you think you are, you're more than that.
Are you tired of treating your animal companions with toxic drugs? Do chronic, degenerative, or disabling conditions affect your horses or pets' quality of life? Quantum Healing, created by Dr. Susan Seeley, with over 25 years as a veterinarian and 40 in the equestrian field, brings hope of true health and healing for your pet or equine companion. Visit quantumvet.com. Learn how quantum healing can benefit your animal companion. That's quantumvet.com.
Are you taking too many oral pain pills and concerned about side effects? Are you having trouble getting to sleep because of the pain? I'm Lou Paradise. I had the same problems you have, cured my pain, eliminated pain pills and their side effects by developing Topricin Pain Relief and Healing Cream. Topricin relieves pain without side effects. It doesn't burn, it doesn't smell, and it doesn't stain. But don't just take my word for it. Doctors, pharmacists, and pain specialists are using and recommending Topricin and ending the suffering for thousands of people just like you. We know you hurt. We want to help. We are so sure that Topricin will work for you, we offer a money-back guarantee. So if you want pain relief without side effects, just ask for Topricin. Topricin is now available at Fred Meyer, Natural Food, and other fine stores. Go to Topricin.com for a store near you or call 1-800-959-1007. Topricin.com or 1-800-959-1007. Topricin, the last pain medicine you'll ever need, and you can sleep on that.
Ladies, your soul is whispering to you. Are you listening? Imagine a woman's magazine dedicated to your inner journey and the deeper aspects of a woman's life. Do you feel an inner tugging of the heart, a desire to live deeper and connect more fully? Aspire magazine features inspiring articles, interviews, and more, and is the premier inspirational and spiritual publication for women. Aspire magazine, inspiration for a woman's soul. Subscribe today at aspiremag.net and have inspiration delivered right to your door.
Get better results with the Good Timing Guide. J.P. Morgan and Walt Disney used astrological cycles to get fantastic business results. Now you can use them too. The Good Timing Guide will save you time, money, and resources. Now you can know when to act, when to wait, and when to expect. No knowledge of astrology is needed. Pre-order the 2009 Good Timing Guide now through April 28th and save up to 20%. Visit PolarisBusinessGuides.com.
Made fresh each day for you. Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. I'm so thrilled Christine Upchurch joining us here today. And we're talking about reconnective healing. We're talking about what she has learned, and we're talking about how she's implemented an incredible practice, a practice that is helping so many people. We're also going to talk about the classes that she teaches and some of the upcoming events. But I think we actually have someone that did call in, Benny. We had lots of people call in. I want to thank all of our listeners for picking up that phone and dialing. Just love it. Mm-hmm. Let's find out what the question is.
Sure. We had tons of callers, and this is more of a personal question. And it came in from Tammy from South Seattle. And Tammy, we appreciate your call. Got your information. We'll forward it on to Christine. She's dealing with a few of the challenges of cancer and so forth, and they're really hardcore for her, but she's deciding to go in a different direction, is without, the typical Western medication, or Western medicine, that is. And she wants to know a little bit more about, choosing another form.
Yes. Well, I've been there in a sense. I think that, how do I put this? I think that when you're choosing your health care, your healing process, you need to do it based on what feels right and not based on fear. I think that when we make decisions based on fear, then we're not making the best choices. Now, for some people, if they have cancer, what may feel appropriate to them is to deal with it surgically, or maybe to get chemo, and then maybe to go get acupuncture afterwards, or whatever. But I think that you just need to make choices based on what feels right on your path. Now, I have to tell you that because I have seen so many amazing healings, including, there have been lots of healings of cancer with Reconnective Healing, it is always worth giving it a try. I think that if I had any sort of major physical problem before I went into any kind of conventional medical treatment, I would definitely do Reconnective Healing first. And I would try some other alternative things. And I did when I was facing cancer. I changed my diet. Nowadays, I would be using acupuncture. I would be trying various things. But do make the choices based on what feels right.
So this is really, again, this what I think I hear you saying is that, we can take a look at our lives and know that there are many different approaches that we can integrate.
Yes.
And to be open to what those are. There are some folks, and I really don't know right now the status of this, but there are some folks that go abroad and they believe in simply taking what we've known as an alternative approach. I don't even like that term anymore, actually. Mm-hmm. But when we look at our lives, we're looking at the work, the reconnective healing work that you're doing and the work that Eric's doing. And, there are different things that are fit for different people.
Yes.
And so, there are a lot of new things out there, Christine, and I wanted to ask you how reconnective healing is either similar or different. I mean, some of the things, for example, like the movie The Secret, and now there have been a gazillion other movies out there that are kind of in the same vein, but how is the work that you do, what Eric's created, and your practice, how is it different and how is it similar?
Well, first of all, it's very different in that there is no intent. Okay, with The Secret, the approach, behind The Secret, You use conscious intent. You use your thoughts and your emotions to manifest. That is a very powerful approach to manifest all sorts of things in our lives. That's how I healed myself of cancer, and I use it today. With Reconnective Healing, these are very unique frequencies, and it is allowing the universe to choose the appropriate gift for the person. And so it is different from other types of energy healing in several ways. First of all, there are all sorts of laboratory and, scientific experiments that have been done to show that it's different in terms of how it affects damaged DNA, in terms of what happens to the practitioner and client in terms of their EEGs and EKGs. Also, there's been so much interest in this scientifically because there have been so many healings, amazing healings with this work. But in the seminar setting, one of the things we show is that Reconnective Healing increases with distance. When you do Reconnective Healing, you put your hand, somewhere near the person's body, and you look for what we call registers. We're looking for some sort of physical movement on the person to indicate that there is a communication underway. Typically, you'll see rapid eye movement almost immediately. Sometimes breathing will change. People's hands might flop around, that sort of thing. And as you move farther and farther back with that, the person's response on the table increases. Energy, by definition, decreases with distance. So this goes beyond energy healing.
When I listen to what you're saying, and I hear you say, this goes beyond that, there is an expectation, and that's what I want to zoom in on, because I think what we're talking about today is raising the bar. I had a show this morning that was about raising consciousness, right? And what I'm discovering is that when we use a term like raising consciousness and raising awareness, we're also raising the bar on what is possible.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
It is so important to see that there is something far bigger that is possible. And yes, I think having people get exposed to this through the media, such as your show, is so important because they recognize then, hey, maybe my narrower version of reality isn't quite true, and the universe has many more gifts to share, and much more is possible than I had ever imagined before.
So let's talk about the world of parameters. And, it's not something I do that often, but let's talk about the world of parameters. Why do some people you work with, Christine, have the outstanding, amazing results and other folks don't?
I don't know. It's never clear to me, and I never know who's going to get the big healing and who's not. It's funny because some people will come in with these great expectations. They've researched everything. They know that this is it to heal their bunions or whatever, and then they don't get the healings. And then other people who don't have the expectations. For instance, when I was in Los Angeles working last summer, there was a gentleman who climbed up onto my table for a reconnection. Now, this man had already had an amazing healing in his own right. He worked very hard for. He had been in a car accident, and it had shattered his entire calf. And doctors were talking about amputating from above the knee, getting rid of that part of the leg. And there was an orthopedic surgeon on staff that weekend who said, I could probably rebuild that leg with steel plates and screws and pins, but she'll probably never walk again. And this man chose to have it rebuilt. And then he was in the hospital for 6 months, and then he went through rehabilitation for 2 years, and eventually he learned how to walk. But when he walked, he was in excruciating pain. And the doctors thought, well, we can try to do some surgery where we cut the nerve so you don't feel your leg anymore, or you climb back into the wheelchair. And when he came to my table to get his session, he had one of these canes with several posts on the bottom, one of these very stable canes, and he climbed up, and he had a session, and he basically had decided not to have a healing session because he didn't have the hope. He didn't want to have the hope and be disappointed about, hoping for a healing. So he decided he was going to get reconnected and worry more about his evolution and not so much about his healing. Well, when he climbed off that table, he was changed. He no longer needed the prescription pain medication that he was living on day in, day out. And within a few days, he had gotten rid of his cane. So there he was without canes, crutches, wheelchair, or pain meds. And he had that healing.
So, when we talk about this, it's got to be exciting for you. I can hear. Oh, yeah. I just heard your voice, the energy and the vibration in your voice, and I didn't know that's where you were last year. You were down in L.A. And so when we look at this, how is it that we can, talk to our listeners in terms of what they can expect for themselves. What I mean by that is, can anyone learn what you've learned?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I am spending a good deal of my life helping to empower other people to do this work. First of all, if a former statistician, which is what I am, can learn to do reconnective healing, anybody can. And we get a wide array of, professionals from, attorneys and MDs, nurses, to homemakers, retired people. Anybody can learn to do this work. It really is truly simple, and that is the beauty of it.
So, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be back with Christine Upchurch joining us here today. Let's make sure everybody has a website, but also, could you please give your phone number for folks that want to chat with you directly?
You betcha. It's 206-953-3573.
One more time.
206-953-3573.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Christine Upchurch joining us here today. The website is cuhealing.com. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about what you can do, how you can get plugged in. Is there a way for you to connect with Christine directly? How might you learn more about Reconnective Healing? We'll be right back with the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by.
Picture yourself standing in the ancient stone circle of Stonehenge or gazing in awe at Egypt's Great Pyramid and Sphinx. Visualize participating in shamanic ceremonies at Machu Picchu or receiving a timely message from the Oracle of Delphi. Rejuvenate your path of personal growth and renew your spirit by traveling to the world's sacred sites with Body, Mind, Spirit Journeys and other like-minded travelers. Visit bodymindspiritjourneys.com or call 800-231-9811.
Do you want a better relationship, to achieve outstanding business and career goals, or to improve your health and fitness? You have the answers. All the power you need is within you. Personal transformation is about a solid foundation in the workings of the conscious and unconscious mind with a seminar or training that gets you high and keeps you there. Contact the Empowerment Partnership and unlock your hidden potential. Call 1-800-800-MIND or visit NLP.com. Whatever you think you are, you're more than that.
I'm Dr. Pat Basile, the host of the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Let me help you take your empowering message to a community of people looking for products and services that value all life on earth and tap into the one true freedom we have, the freedom to choose. Let our listeners choose you. Join the buzz and be the buzz. Sponsor the Dr. Pat Show. Call me at 206-523-5522. That's 206-523-5522.
Would you like to receive a weekly email telling you about personal growth events and resources in the Puget Sound region? This service is now available, compliments of New Spirit Journal, the locally owned and operated newspaper that brings you a wealth of inspirational information every month. Go to newspiritjournal.com and click on Earl. That's events and resource listings, but you can call it Earl. New Spirit Journal has been providing inspirational news and information for almost 3 years. Visit newspiritjournal.com.
Hi, this is Glenn Brooks from the Vibrant Living Radio Network. From terminal normalities to abundant realities, how do we craft and design more abundance in our lives? And how do we allow for more possibilities? Join me and my international team of contributors. Please join me in this exploration and become part of the Vibrant Living family, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., right here on Seattle's Alternative Talk, AM 1150, KKNW. Your life's precious, enjoy it. Find the tools and resources and discover a new way of accessing those.
Tune in your radio to hear Carrie O'Connor, master visionary, medium, and clairvoyant, as she uses her amazing psychic gifts to help you step into your divine power and begin to create the life of your dreams. Carrie will read your unique energy field, connecting you with the treasures of your soul, your passions, and your true life purpose. Don't miss Carrie's weekly astounding and energetic predictions. Fasten your seatbelt as you take a wild ride with Carrie O'Connor. Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific. Listen live at thedrpatshow.com.
Clear, clean, and crisp. Check us out in digital quality sound on FM 98.9 HD3. Alternative Talk 1150.
Game of life, it's the scrimmage. Reminiscing on letters I wrote in my small days. A letter to the people.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show. If you want to find out more about us, check us out on our website, which is www.thedrpatshow.com. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. That's how we get to tell you about the upcoming week's lineup. Carol Singleton has done like an amazing job with that newsletter.
Carol! Woo!
I'm telling you, it's rocking. We have a bunch of different links in there for you to connect on, really cool articles, things that people are doing, upcoming events. Talking about upcoming events, Christine Upchurch, my very special guest today, has an upcoming event. We're thrilled that she has come back from L.A. Sometimes people go down to L.A., they don't come back.
I did, Pat.
You know? Yes. But I think we've got 3 people in the room that have gone down to L.A. and have come back. I actually went to school down there. So, Christine, I know you're going to be doing some events. Could you give us some information? Because I think after this show today, people are going to want to know more about this.
Yes. Well, on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock at East West Bookshop here in Seattle, I'm going to be doing an hour-and-a-half presentation that's free, that's entitled Balancing Our Relationship with the Universe. One of the questions that has come up for me over the years is, okay, if we're so powerful in terms of how we can consciously manifest, and there are things like reconnective healing that are these gifts from the universe, how do we know when to, create and sort of use our force to choose our direction? And when do we just sort of acquiesce to the universe and open our arms to the gifts? So
Man, that is a great question. When are you doing that?
I'm doing that Thursday night. And it's kind of like we're in this continual dance with the universe. Sometimes we're in the lead. Sometimes the universe is in the lead. When do we know, how to just bow back as as the universe dips us, and when do we know, okay, it's time for us to lead? So it's something it's a question that I'm still asking myself, and my answer's not fully formed, but I think that I've got several good ideas about how to handle that. And I'll also be telling my story about how I healed myself of cancer and talking about reconnective healing, and I'll probably do some demonstrations of reconnective healing as well.
Well, and I love this, and the question that you're asking is really cool. I mean, this I'm contemplating on right now, and in thinking about when do we know when to take the lead, when to let the universe take the lead.
Right.
Would you like to receive a weekly email telling you about personal growth events and resources in the Puget Sound region? This service is now available compliments of New Spirit Journal, the locally owned and operated newspaper that brings you a wealth of inspirational information every month. Go to newspiritjournal.com and click on Earl. That's events and resource listings, but you can call it Earl. New Spirit Journal has been providing inspirational news and information for almost 3 years. Visit newspiritjournal.com.
Mama Kitty had no hope, shot and dumped in a rural area with her kittens. She was terrified, hungry, and exhausted. A good Samaritan found her and knew that Posada's Safe Haven could help. Posada's Safe Haven is a small sanctuary that's making a big difference to animals in need like Mama Kitty. Our mission is to improve the lives of animals who fell through the cracks, those typically not served by humane shelters. Located on 80 beautiful pastoral acres in Monroe, Washington, our barns are filled with over 250 rescued dogs, cats, and farm animals. Want to meet Mama Kitty? Volunteer with us. Make a difference to our animals as they enrich your life as well. Please visit posadosafehaven.org about volunteer opportunities. Posado's Safe Haven. That's Posado, P-A-S-A-D-O, safehaven.org.
Alternative Talk 1150 is now being broadcast in digital quality on FM 98.9 HD3. So rejoice, you early adopters of technology.
So So Christine Upchurch and I were talking about when to let the universe kind of take the lead and when do we take the lead. And I love what just happened as a demonstration of that, Christine. So maybe we should rethink this, because this is one of these examples where the universe decided, I'm going to demonstrate for these two what this is about.
And we just need to acquiesce, don't we?
Well, but let's talk about this, because this is going to be the work. This is going to be the event that you're doing. And
Yes.
this is a perfect example. I love that this happened. It couldn't be more perfect because, look, we're doing radio. We have amazing technology. There's absolutely no reason on this planet that this piece of equipment should have just done what it did, except if we go back to the very premise that we're talking about.
That's right.
Sometimes we are in charge, and you know what? Sometimes we're not.
Right. And we have to have the wisdom to know when to just live with the fact that we're not in charge and actually go with the flow. And I think that, I'll be offering several tips on Thursday evening. But one of them here is when you are working to consciously manifest something, come up with things that are as high a level as possible. In other words, let's say you're trying to manifest a new space for your office. Come up with what it is you truly want. And don't fixate on a particular office, because it could be that office that looks so perfect isn't perfect. If you allow the universe to decide, okay, based on all these criteria, this other office over there is what's perfect, then you leave yourself in a situation where the universe can give you the gifts. So you work hand in hand manifesting. And then, of course, there are other times where you basically open your arms and say, okay, I'm going to get out of the intention process. When lying down on the table and receiving Reconnective Healing Session, that's the perfect example of when to let go and let the universe do its thing.
And so that's what we're talking about today. So folks are going to be able to find out more about that at the upcoming event. Why don't you give out that information one more time?
Okay.
And then will they be able to get more information from you at that point as well? And for those folks out there that are hearing this and saying, wow, I want to learn how to do this myself.
Yes, absolutely. And also if you go to my website, which is www.C4ChristineUforUpchurchHealing.com, I talk about Reconnective Healing and the Reconnection, and there are links to the Reconnection website, which is www.thereconnection.com. And yes, I will be talking about not only the healing sessions and this question about how do we consciously manifest and then sometimes just allow the universe to do its thing and have this dance be a wonderful dance with the universe. And I'll also be talking about Reconnective Healing in particular and how to become a practitioner if people are interested.
I love this. You know, Christine, you and I talked about a lot of different things today. I want to thank you for joining us here. You know, and as we kind of wrap up this segment, you know, there are many people that are across the globe that will probably listen to this show that are thinking, I'm really tired of suffering. I'm really tired of what's going on in my body.
Right.
And I wanted to ask you, for all of the people out there that are suffering or that are not suffering but want to go to the next level of their lives, what's your personal message?
It is possible. Take some action to get there. And these healing frequencies can help you in your process. So go to www.thereconnection.com and find a practitioner near you, because I have seen repeatedly life shifts based on this, not only limiting symptoms, but changes in people's lives. And I think it's always worth a try. And do keep your mind open that things can change dramatically.
I love that. You know, Christine, again, thank you for joining us here today. Lots of information on Christine's website for you to take a look at. And as a matter of fact, you know, there are folks that probably want to find out a little bit more about Eric as well. And who am I talking about when I say Eric? I'm talking about Eric Pearl.
Right.
What's the best way for folks to do that? Certainly from your website, correct?
Yes, from my website and also from his website, www.thereconnection.com, and his 800 number is 1-888-ERIC Pearl, Pearl.
Well, and do we know when Eric's coming back to Seattle or not?
Eric will be in Seattle in August for a couple of different events. He'll be speaking at Seattle Unity Church, I believe, as well as East West Bookshop.
Excellent. Thank you, Christine, for another fabulous show.
My pleasure,
Give
Pat.
Eric my love, and let's make sure we get him on the show when he's in town.
I will. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Benny, for another fabulous show. Thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning us in and turning us on every day. We love you. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Interview with Cesar Millan as well as Dr. Joel Martin. You are going to be jazzed. We'll see you then.
Put me